When you leave the hospital, you're going to get this. This is a Monmouth Ocean Breastfeeding Consortium. So anywhere you deliver, if not here.
And we do give these out here.
Yes, you will get this here. And what the importance of this is it's very small for you now, I know. But what this basically does is it's a diaper diary. And it's going to let you know for the first 2 weeks how many diapers the baby should have in a 24-hour period. So as long as the baby is peeing and pooping, we can assume it even tells you what color you want your stools to be. So if the baby's peeing and pooping and you have these yellow, seedy, healthy breast milk, almost like diarrhea stools, that's what you want. That's what you want to see. Okay? So if you guys live by this for your first 2 weeks, you can almost assume everything's okay. Then you go through your 3-week growth spurt that we talked about, and then you're pretty established. Make sense? Okay. So make sure you don't leave the hospital without these. Hopefully they're giving these out in your prenatal classes. If not, if you don't get one, say that, Lisanne told me about this breastfeeding guide. I'd like to know how I can get my hands on one. Okay?
And I am working on getting this downloadable on the Monmouth website so that you can go and just print as many as you want to, and with the wet and dries, and how often your feeding should be, so that you can just make a whole little book of them.
But
if you're
I'm
a tech person,
you could do an app on your iPhone.
There's an app. There's a baby tracker, which has breastfeeding, and there's baby diaper, which is wet and dries, and then there's one called, I think, like baby does it all. I don't remember what it is, baby something, and it has all of them. And then you can upload it and print it and bring it to the doctor.
And that's the good thing too. I think you need to keep that in mind too. So if you're saying average breastfed babies eat every 2 to 4 hours, let's say, okay, really it's an hour and a half to 3 hours, but we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But you're calculating start to start. So if you go into your pediatrician and you say how often is the baby eating, and your baby takes 40 minutes to feed, you're not saying every 3 hours if it's really that you started at 1 and you started again at 3, but you ended at 4. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it's always start to start that you're going to calculate your feedings when you tell someone how often your baby's eating. We are kind of a generation where we're baby-led feeding, so we don't really care if your baby takes 10 minutes and my baby takes 40 minutes, because your body's willingness to let milk go and have letdowns is going to be different than mine, and your baby's suck is going to be different than mine, and I was talking to you about your baby's suck before. It's all going to be a big variation, so really to put numbers on it, times on it and such isn't always the smartest thing. But in our culture, it makes us feel better, so we try to kind of do that, so we have a better idea.
We love times and amounts. Love it.
Yeah. And really, in all honesty, diapers. If you're seeing the diapers, I don't care what the times are.
So do they basically self-regulate then, or do you like cut them off, or like?
Yeah, there is no such thing as cutting off. Unless the UPS man comes to the door, then we should teach you in your breastfeeding class how to disconnect your latch. But other than, there are some babies, and pacifiers are good for a certain reason. There are some babies that just have a high suck need, and you're gonna kind of need to get through. And there's times you're gonna need to drive somewhere, and you can't breastfeed, and so on. But definitely, if the baby's still willing to actively suck and eat, not kind of flutter suck and be sleeping, but actively suck and eat, then you should be going with that, because it could be a growth spurt. It could be multiple reasons why these feedings are going on this long. And usually the babies that feed for 40 minutes are the ones that don't come back for 3 hours, and usually babies that feed for 20 minutes are the ones that are back in 2. So you usually kind of benefit one way or the other.